from truly becoming spiritual, which is why biblical religion was created, which is why you don't understand the true meaning of it. You are given the book to follow, and you have those in secret societies who use the book to take out of it the true knowledge and the true purpose of the book and of that knowledge. So you are meant to basically stay exactly where you are and worshiping this Jesus and thinking that if you pray and pray and pray, stuff is going to come true, even though you know it does not. This is why the Bible says that Satan is the god of this world, 1 Corinthians 4:4, because Satan is the god of materialism, and this world is about material. Plain and simple. Everything we do is to get material and not spiritual. You work for material possessions. You work for money so you can go out and buy material things. You work for money so you can survive. This is all about material and not spiritual. So you're doing everything to basically conform to this physical existence, and you're completely neglecting who you really are, which is a spiritual, energetic being. And that part of you needs to be, worked, to be fixed, to be brought back to what it once was, because something happened a long time ago and it changed us from what we used to be to what we are now. And this is what the ancient Egyptians was trying to do, and to try to figure out how to get back what we was and how to recreate the situation that we had once on this planet, before they were conquered. So it was trying to go back to the spiritual, and it wasn't focused on the material, because they understood that if you got the spiritual and you got everything the way they had it before, the way it's supposed to be, then, the material stuff doesn't really matter. But you have a spiritual civilization that was conquered by a material civilization, and this is where we are. This is where we are today. It's deep. A lot of the stuff is over your heads, and I put it that way specifically because you need to do research. You need to do research. You can't get everything just handed to you on a silver platter. Everything is not going to be, the way you want it to be every time. You have to do research. You have to go and look and understand what this stuff is talking about. You haven't clearly even read the Bible. So, this is going to be a lot harder. It's going to be a lot harder. Some of you have been religious your entire life in church and have not completely read the book, and you haven't. So this is why so many people choose to just stay with and accept biblical religion, because it's too hard to go into a whole different, realm of knowledge and read different books and understand, different things. It's too hard. It's like, staying home and just, remodeling the house, or packing and having to move everything to a new house. Some people just don't want to do all that. Some people are just lazy. But if you want something better, you have to work for it. You have to be willing to move out. You got to be willing to go and do the work in order to get that. So you'll either be content with what you have and what you see, or you'll be willing to go and do the actual research to get to the proper understanding. Now, I grew up Christian, as I said before. Grew up Christian. Went to church probably twice a week. I was in Bible camp. It was really hard for me as well to give it up. But you come to a point in understanding and in doing research to where 100% for sure that it's true. And, when you know that and you start to see everything pointing towards the truth, the fact that the Bible is not proven, it's not backed up by proven history even, how could you go that route? This is why it requires faith. You have to have faith to believe in the religion, because faith is the only way you're going to go against your common sense and your rationality to accept something that is not proven. Now, addressing the whole part about the devil worship and, the ancient Egyptian hieroglyphics and these statues or what have you, all this stuff having to do with Satan, that is absolutely, bogus. You didn't get a Satan till, thousands of years after Set, so-called Set, what the Greeks named him. So Satan, of course, being, as I said, the god of material, is dealing with this world. Ancient Egyptian, nothing in ancient Kemet has to do with Satan, period. Satan does not exist. Satan is a representation of many different things, one mainly being physical material possessions. That's all it is. So if you watch my series, I have a series called Saturn, Satan, and God in Nature of Reality. And you really get an understanding about what Satan is in that series as far as being material. So if Satan is the God of this world, as your Bible says, where is he? Who is truly the God of this world? Who is running things? When you take a look, you have a government system. You have corporations that do what? They make products. They make material possessions. Plain and simple, these two things go hand in hand. You have your Bible in Romans saying that God put the government, the powers that be, in charge. So how could Satan be the God of this world and the government be in charge? Why would God put the government in charge if Satan is the God of this world? How is that supposed to work out? So when you get some knowledge, you start to understand that these are the same things. They are one and the same. You have the government, you have Satan, they are one and the same. You have these corporations that create the material for Satan, for Satan's world, the material stuff, the material possession that we go after, that we do everything we give blood, sweat, and tears for, that's running this whole thing. And when you understand, as I said before, Saturn, Satan, the planet Saturn representing Satan, and you go and look at all these corporations and see the logos looking like the planet Saturn, giving you the hidden understanding that they are representing Satan, which is the God of material possessions. And these corporations, all they do is, make materials, and we buy them, we consume them. And this is what it's all about. It has nothing to do with ancient Kemet. This has to do with us being controlled and this world being run by materialism, by greed. All this stuff is tied into evil because you have people who have so much that will allow little kids to starve to death because they don't want to give up something. You have people that will kill you over a TV, over sneakers, over material possessions. They don't get more evil than that. Everything that you think, the very little stuff that the Bible describes as far as Satan. So you get most of your understandings about what Satan is from the church and from TV. It's not in that Bible. So everything you think that Satan's supposed to be about as far as, all the torment and torture and going to hell and burning or what have you, any kind of physical pain you can drum up or any kind of hell you can create, you can find right here on this planet, and you can find people suffering through it. It's just that simple. So the evil is caused by material, plain and simple. So when you look at these celebrities, and we see the so-called Illuminati hip hop industry with these celebrities with the throwing out the Baphomet and supposedly worshiping Satan and everything like that, what are they really doing? It's about material. Material. They got their fame and fortune. They got their cars. They got their homes. They got their chains. They throwing up money. They throwing up material stuff. It's about materialism, Malakuf. This is the level that we are in, the material realm. It's so much more to all of this that you will never understand because you choose to be stuck in one reality because it's safe, because it makes sense to you, because you are too afraid to look outside of it and see what's actually going on, in this world. So many people are willing to throw away their common sense and to give things that they completely see as evil a pass when it comes to biblical religion. And the Bible and the things that God does in the Bible is filled with so many atrocities and craziness that it's no way you can complain about anything anybody else does on this planet when you see the kind of sick things that are done by the God of the Bible. I mean, it's ridiculous. The Israelites having to eat their babies, children being killed, people being, wiped out, entire civilizations burnt to the ground, people being destroyed in so many different cases because of something they had absolutely no control over. And it's outrageous. It's crazy, but it's given a pass because it's supposed to be, from God. So you can't really complain about anything else that is equivalent, because it's no reason. Wrong is wrong. It doesn't matter who does it. So when you really pay attention to the Bible and you actually read the book, you'll read some of the many passages in that book that is sick, that is crazy, that, if anybody else does it in this world, they're spending the rest of their life behind bars or get a death penalty. So you can keep being, unreal with yourself, because at some point you can kick all the stuff you want in the comment section. You can tell yourself or your friends whatever you want to tell yourselves when you go to church. But at some point you got to look in the mirror and be real with yourself. And you know that you're kidding yourself. You are not living by the Bible. You are not following it. You are not reading the book. You are playing a game with yourself. You are faking the funk, acting like you are holier than thou, and you're going out here and you're doing all kinds of, stuff that's supposed to be so-called Christian, like, when really you don't really follow the book. You don't really do anything that the Bible says is right before God, because you cannot. It's impossible, and that is the point. So there's basically nothing that I haven't heard from any Christian as far as, people talking about ancient Egypt and what happened there, and every excuse about the Bible supposedly being right. All of it still goes back to faith. And that's what you got to have in order to be in biblical religion, or to really be in any religion for that matter, because it requires faith, because it's not backed up by proven history or facts. And there is absolutely no reason to be here at all on YouTube debating and discussing anything biblical if you're not going to accept facts, if you're not going to accept the fact that there is no proof for your book. Everything that you have been told about, as I've shown before, the chariots being found in the Red Sea, false. Noah's Ark, hoax. So all these little things that we find that supposedly give validity to biblical religion is not 100% proven. It is stuff that is pushed by religious groups and pushed to basically keep people in their faith. There's absolutely no 100% concrete proof of a Jesus Christ or these stories, these so-called Noah's Ark and Moses and all these things that took place in biblical religion. We can't find it. We just can't find it. So again, you are basically limited to faith, and this is all you have. So I say to you, if this is what you choose to accept it in faith, and you cannot walk around saying that this is fact. You can't walk around cussing people out because they do not believe as you believe. They choose not to have faith. They choose facts over faith, truth over fiction. And this is what it boils down to. So to answer many of your questions about all of this, what it is you have people who have spent, years of their lives to obtain the knowledge that they have to get the truth about biblical religion. I'm one of those people. I spent over 15 years doing this research, and I set out as a Christian to prove one point, that Jesus Christ actually existed and lived, and that the Bible is true. That was my purpose. That was the point when I set out. And what happened was being real with myself and actually reading and studying. I have books of notes on the Bible because I read the entire Bible at least 5 times now, the entire book, and took notes. So after you do something like that, being in the Navy for so long and having the time to read, being out to sea and, being in Iraq and having time to read and study and research, it was tough for me to come to that conclusion and to accept it, but it all fit. This book is an amazing book. A lot of people say, well, how can you go against the Bible? It's just a book that's trying to help people and it's a good book or what have you. Those people have not read the book. They don't know what the hell they're talking about. This book has a lot of good things in it, but it has the truth in it as far as showing you where this book was meant to lead you. But you chose to be a follower You chose to follow a person who went to a school that taught him exactly how to preach this book, to stay away from certain passages and certain books of the Bible. You chose to follow that person. You don't know his background. You don't know his motivation. You don't really know too much about him except that he's the pastor or the preacher of your church. You don't know his heart. And you don't understand that he has been deceived either. And he's deceiving you. So, bottom line, unless you do the research on your own and you actually read the entire book and you study it and you take notes and you research where it leads you, I'm going to tell you 100%. It's going to lead you back to these guys. There's absolutely no way around that. And then you're going to have absolutely no choice but to understand who they are, what they were about, and what they spoke to. This is where I started. This is where I finished. And as the book says, shall know the truth, and it shall make you free. Now, what truth is it talking about? Ain't the Bible supposed to be the truth? So what is it talking about? The truth shall make you free. This is the truth that makes you free, because it sets you free from all the so-called guilt of sin, freedom of not having to worry about you burning forever, or that you walking around on this planet cursed because, we disobeyed God or what have you. Free from all the nonsense and being able to really tap into true spirituality and have it work for you. So this probably went over a lot of people's heads, and for a good reason. And I can only tell you guys again to just go out, do your own research, and really get this stuff in and start taking it in. It's almost 2018. It's time. Like, come on. This shit ain't never worked for us. They gave it to us in slavery. Snap out of it. And again, I talked about the Ethiopian Bible. People want to go back to that and say it's the oldest. It's not the oldest. I went through the whole thing with Abgarima and about how the Ethiopian Bible was copied from a Greek manuscript. So the Ethiopian Bible is not ours. We didn't create the book. It came from the Greeks, as I have proven. If you've seen the new Greek mythology video, for those of you who have seen it, then you understand, what this stuff is about. And I can only say to you, I can't make you guys watch the whole video to the end. I can't make you guys watch what I put out. I can't make you guys read and do the research. This is what I can do. So it's up to you to either continue to be, following something that is not true, or to, pick up a book, look at a video, do some research, and get the truth about what's really going on. But now to me, it's an easy choice to just go ahead and do the research and to understand the stuff and what it's talking about, and, really get into a whole lot of knowledge that you have, been missing for most of your life, some of you. So, I really wanted to put this video out to get just a brief understanding and a brief explanation about this stuff and what it entails as far as ancient Kemet, which is so much more to it. But hopefully it answers some of you guys' questions or points you into the right direction. A lot of the people who comment in the comment section and on YouTube under this video are very knowledgeable. So you can leave comments down there if I get a chance to see them. If it's a good question, I'll answer it. But a lot of these people have a really good knowledge about, what's going on and about what ancient Kemet spoke to. So definitely, drop your comments down below, and, somebody or myself will try to answer your questions. And again, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what I tell you or what they tell you. You still got to do your own research. You still got to go look for yourself. My whole purpose, my point is to try to really give it to you guys the best way I can and explain it, because when I started doing this, it was nobody. I had nobody to turn to, nobody to look to. I was really, by myself on this. I was really by myself. And we are all lucky, that we had people like Dr. Ben and Dr. Clark, who I always talk about, who put out books that really started to get into this kind of information. You have so many other scholars as well. I have my Sertima, Sheikh Anta Diop, and so many people we can get into and talk about as far as putting out the truth biblical religion, about ancient Egyptian history and history of African people of the Nile Valley, and the origins of civilization and how things are and why things are the way that they are. So many people to thank, and it's just up to you guys to really go out there and find what you're comfortable with as far as information, and then accepting what is facts. So yeah, I want to thank you guys for taking the time to watch. Thanks to everybody who supported and got Greek mythology. Voodoo Part 2 is coming out this week. So it's time to get back into Voodoo Part 2 to really get into that kind of information. I probably just scared the hell out of all of the Christian people watching, but again, this is something that you need to understand as far as what voodoo really is and what the stuff really is talking about. It's not the boogeyman or spookiness or what have you. No, it's not. But since we got into frequency and energy and everything like that, it's time to really go back into voodoo and really understand what this stuff is about. And it's a whole lot. I had to leave out the first one because I didn't want to get nothing away. But so much I had to leave out. But I can now really get into it more and talk about this stuff more and put it in a way that's going to be a lot more easier for people to understand. But definitely going to get into that and other things as well. But yeah, thank you guys for taking the time to watch. Thanks for supporting. See you guys next video.